Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and I want to deal with a question someone had about my video when I was talking about dealing with overwhelm and how to delegate and bring new people on. If you're in your own business, you're doing everything or almost everything, your focus is scattered and you need to bring other people on. And they had an interesting point about, well, if I bring somebody on, I try to get them to do this particular job I have for them that I was doing, and I want them to look for inefficiencies, and they start changing and tweaking the formula that I have for them, it messes everything up, and then we got to start all over. Okay, here's a simple solution for that. Initially, when you bring someone on, have them do that particular job the way you are doing it now. Now make sure you, depending on the individual, you either have a video showing them how to do it, you have maybe also written instructions on how to do it exactly, step by step. Don't leave anything out. If turning on the computer is part of it, put that in there as step one. This is not to diminish them as if they're too dumb to figure it out. It's nothing like that at all. Put every single step in there. But then, as they get good at that, depending on whatever the job you have for them, it could take them a day to do it and get pretty much perfect at doing that particular job the way you've done it. It might take them weeks. However it is, when you get to the point where they're proficient at it, doing it the way you're doing it, ask them now, how can we improve this? Is there something that could be tweaked in this? Now, one of the things is just the literal act of making the training video or writing it out. I would suggest doing the writing out step by step first. Sometimes just doing that will be enough for you to go, oh, because you're now singularly focused on that one thing. You're writing down, you're trying to think of exactly the way you do it each and every time. You will find inefficiencies just doing that. I know when I've had employees come on for different projects and I write out a list of exactly what needs to be done, and I'm thinking, why am I doing that part? Why is that step in there? Step 3 and 4 could be combined, or this could be removed completely. This is a waste of time, or why is this not being done in a different area of the business? So you can find inefficiencies in that particular part of your business. You can also find ways you're doing something well in that particular area that could be incorporated in other areas. So that'll be very beneficial for you. It may seem like, oh, it's a waste of time, it's so much work. It'll take you maybe 30 minutes, depending on what the job is, of course, but it can save you dozens or hundreds of hours over the course of years and produce more and have that individual you're bringing on to help you in this area of the business perform at a higher level. You know, oftentimes in business, employers make it hard for their employees to perform at the highest level. They saddle them down with all kinds of excess steps and procedures and forms, and you got to contact this person every time you do this part of it, and just make it hard to be as efficient as possible. In traditional corporate business, the big thing that wastes time is meetings. Constant meetings over this, meetings over that, meetings to have a meeting about a meeting. Just nonsense. People trying to justify their existence in that company because they produce a bunch of meetings that don't produce any results. If those meetings are producing results and improving the business, great. But for so many people in so many businesses, those meetings are an absolute waste of time. One, the employees dread it. So leading up to that meeting, you have a loss of productivity because the people are dreading this meeting they got to go into. If they have stuff they got to present in there, now they got to waste their time making a presentation. And all this just to have the formality of a meeting that doesn't get anywhere. It doesn't do anything for the business. The bottom line is it's not producing more. It's not making the employees work better. It is not helping the customers get better products or services. There's nothing beneficial for that. And if there is, great, keep doing that. But even things like that, going back to that video I made about dealing with overwhelm, that can be something that you're overwhelming yourself, you're overwhelming your employees in, having all these meetings. Make sure your meetings, if you're having them, are efficient and really to the point and actually producing results, and not just because you think that's what a business is supposed to do. because it's not. That's another area. Some people are getting overwhelmed in their business because they're having meetings with their employees all the time. Now, it's great you want to meet with your employees and fellowship with them and talk with them and find out what's going on. That's important. But if you're just having meetings all the time just to have meetings, just to fill time in the day to look productive, that is an absolute waste of time and money. And as I mentioned, it's wasting time and it's lowering productivity because everybody going to that meeting an hour or so before it is losing productivity because they're dreading that meeting or because they're having to prepare for that meeting. So you're literally losing productivity, you're losing efficiency just to have a meeting that isn't increasing either of those areas. So just to reiterate, if you hire somebody to take over a part of your business, if you're an overwhelmed entrepreneur, or at least if you're feeling like you're pretty much maxed out, maybe you're not overwhelmed, because I know for myself, I don't get overwhelmed easily. I don't even know what that would look like exactly. And I think for a lot of higher performing people, it's not, because you're just at such a level that it doesn't even look like you could possibly be overwhelmed because you're just doing so much more than the average person. And that's where you get into a problem if you're comparing yourself to other people because they're not you and you're at such a high level that you can outperform 3 or 4 or a dozen other people doing the same thing. So it's a low standard to hold yourself to. But bringing somebody else on to focus on areas of the business that you either don't excel at or they're just wasting your time, that they're not directly making you money, but they're part of the business that needs to be done. Accounting could be one of them. Why are you doing your accounting? Especially if you don't like it, bring an accountant on to do that. Why are you doing logos, as I mentioned in the other video? Bring somebody on to make the logo for you. People that do that professionally are going to do better than you anyway, unless your business is making logos. But even at that point, why would you be making the logo? Why wouldn't your employees be making it? And probably if you're at that point, and that's your business, you would have already created a good logo. And to mention that, that's an important thing because I've seen people who are wasting days on end and they're having meetings over logo designs. And they have 3 or 4 or 5 different logos. They're all fine. And they're sitting there they're wasting days on end deciding which logo. My friend, I gotta tell you, that is something that wastes more time in businesses than any other thing. More than people wasting time on social media. It's all these trivialities that get turned into business meetings, get turned into important things. We got to change our logo and make sure to rebrand. And why? There are companies, large, multi-$100 million and billion-dollar companies who have done these big rebranding things that have been a terrible disaster. And they literally went back to the old brand, the old logo, and they wasted tens of millions of dollars. They made a worse product, and they did nothing. The customer wasn't improved by that new logo. The customer didn't care. The old logo was fine. No one cared. It was just somebody in the business had to have some justification for their existence in the business. That is not what I'm telling you when I'm telling you to delegate and bring on new people. Don't bring on people who just create busy work within the company, create new meetings, and we got to get a new logo, and we got to do this, and just something to justify them being there in the first place because they're doing work that doesn't need to be done. Make sure you don't bring on people like that. Don't bring on consultants to tell you why you need a new logo or why you need a new slogan for your business. Who cares? Is that going to sell you more products? Is that going to sell you more services? Is that going to provide the customer a better experience? If the answer is no to those, why would you do it? And I understand that it's neat, it's fun. Oh, we got a new logo and we're going to have this and relaunch, and that's fun, but it's a waste of time in most cases. Maybe you do need that. I bought a business once. The logo was horrific. The website was an abomination. And so I went in, and this is way, many years ago. But I sat there for 2 days in a row redesigning the website completely. I hired somebody to create the logo. Now, I should have, now thinking back on it, I should have hired somebody to redesign the website, but I wanted to get myself familiar with all the products and what we had and what we were offering and the prices and the price structure and what are we shipping these for and how much is this way and that way. It was partially because I wanted to be familiar with every single product. I wouldn't do that today. I would hire somebody to do it because I know the products. But in buying that business, that was part of my onboarding procedure. I wanted to learn and also improve this horrific website and horrific logo, because that would directly impact sales, because the website was unintuitive and hard to navigate and hard to buy a product. If you make it hard for people, most people probably get through it okay. But there are going to be people who just say, this is a mess, I'm out of here. There are going to be people that see that awful logo and say, this company doesn't look professional, I'm out of here. I'm not buying from them. But that being said, most website redesigns and logo redesigns and rebranding is a waste of time. So make sure that whatever you're hiring somebody for is a needful, useful part of the business, and not just somebody that tells you that you need this and you need that, and they're just creating endless work in the business that is not needed, my friend. You need to bring on more people for your business if you're growing, and especially if you're feeling like you're maxed out, like you're at the most you could possibly do. Give yourself a break. Understand you're doing the best you can. You're legitimately doing. I don't say that in the traditional way people say that, where they give themselves an excuse. I'm doing the best I can, and they give themselves an excuse for their mediocrity. You're literally doing the best you can. You're performing at an ultra high level. Bring on some more people, my friend. It doesn't mean you failed. It means you're succeeding, because now you need more people. You've reached the maximum you can do. That's a good thing. That's a blessing. That shows how productive and amazing you've been doing in your business. Now you need more people to help you in other areas so you can continue to grow and get better and better each and every day. My friend, you're doing great. Continue to do great. Continue to improve, and also continue to delegate and bring on more people to help you in your business so you'll be a greater success. I pray this was a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.